GamingBolt presents 14 greatest Pokémon secrets and Easter eggs that you may not know. The Pokémon series caught our attention when we were kids, and a lot of that had to do with just how the game sparked our imaginations. Ever since the original Pokémon games, the series has been known for hiding cryptic clues and Easter eggs within the games, waiting to be explored by the inquisitive player, but never explained. Here we discuss some of the best ones. My body is ready. Chances are, if you're a Nintendo fan, you're familiar with the now famous quote by Nintendo America's president, Reggie Fils-Aimé. During Nintendo's conference at E3 2007, Reggie said the words,
"My body is ready."
Words that went on to become an internet phenomenon for some reason. Close to the end of Victory Road in Pokémon X and Y, a trainer says these same words. Pikachu's popularity. Pikachu exploded into popular culture a long time ago, even outside of video games. And Pokémon Sun and Moon recognized that fact in a very interesting way. Pikachu's Pokédex entry in the game says that the Pokémon began to rise in popularity close to 20 years ago. That, incidentally, is also when Pokémon Red and Blue, the very first Pokémon games, were released. Coincidence? We think not. Nintendo's consoles. During the first few minutes of every Pokémon game, you find yourself in your room at your house, and a common fixture in each of those rooms over the last 20 years has been a Nintendo console connected to a TV. From the NES and the SNES during the early days, and now to the Wii U. Whichever Nintendo console is current in the market at the time always makes an appearance in the Pokémon games. Jurassic Park reference. Imagine a reimagining of Jurassic Park, only this time, instead of the dinosaurs, you'd be looking at ancient, extinct Pokémon. Pokémon Sun and Moon pays homage to Jurassic Park by playing with this very idea. On Route 8 in the game, an NPC talks about a person who's trying to make a theme park full of Pokémon restored from fossils. Who in their right minds would not pay to see this theme park? Game Freak offices. Like a lot of Easter eggs in the Pokémon series, this specific one has been a persisting one in the series, beginning with Red and Blue back in the day and then making an appearance in every successive Pokémon game. In each Pokémon game, there's a building in one city or another that's supposed to be a representation of the Game Freak offices, complete with writers, programmers, designers, and even the game director. Hands down, these buildings are some of the coolest ideas to have ever graced the series. Too much water. Back when Pokémon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out in 2014, popular website IGN inadvertently created a meme when they reviewed the game and cited too much water as one of its negative points. It's good to see then that Nintendo too are capable of having a laugh at the entire situation. In Pokémon Sun and Moon's PokeFinder feature, which allows people to comment on pictures taken by others, 7.8 out of 10, too much water is apparently a comment that people can choose to use. The boy with shorts. Pokémon Red and Blue were full of charming, quirky, and weird dialogue that would go on to permeate gaming and pop culture. One of the finest examples of this was a youngster who accosted you and proclaimed, "I like shorts, they're comfy and easy to wear," before engaging you in a Pokémon battle. It was so wonderfully random that it tickled everyone's fancy, and ever since then, some variation of a youngster who loves wearing shorts has been returning in Pokémon games, trying to spread the good word about just how great shorts are. Diamond Dust. Starting with Pokémon Diamond and Pearl, snowy environments were introduced to the series, and with them came the chance for developers to add another Easter egg. In Diamond and Pearl, if you are in Snow Point City, which, as the name suggests, is a snowy city, on January 12th, which is the birthday of the game's director, then the snow would turn into diamond dust. It changed nothing and had no effect on Pokémon battles, but it looked different and pretty. Diamond Dust has since returned in Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, as well as Black and White, each time celebrating different dates. References to classic films. The Pokémon series is filled with references to pop culture. One of the most memorable ways it references popular movies is by giving a player a description of what NPCs in the game are watching on the TV. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, if you play as a boy character, the game references the 1987 movie Stand By Me if you check your TV, telling you that there's a movie on TV, 4 boys are walking on railroad tracks. If you play as a girl, the reference is to The Wizard of Oz, with the description saying, a girl in pigtails is walking down a yellow brick road. In Gold and Silver, the 1983 movie The Outsiders is referenced, with the TV saying, "Stars dot the sky" as two boys ride on a train. Looks like the Pokemon writers have a very good taste in movies. Ghost Girl. Pokemon X and Y were sadly not full of secrets and Easter eggs to explore as the previous games, but they still managed to pack in one notable mystery that to this day remains unsolved. In Lumio City, in some of the buildings, the players will encounter a mysterious ghost girl who flashes into a spectral existence right behind you, observes you, and then says a cryptic, "No, you are not the one," before moving on. Creepy as hell, but what does it mean? 4 years later, and we still do not know. Nugget Bridge. In Pokemon Red and Blue, north of Cerulean City, there was a bridge full of trainers. If the player managed to defeat all of them, they would get a nugget as a prize. The bridge endeared itself to a lot of fans, especially because of the dialogue for the trainers after they are defeated. All of them say, "I did my best, I have no regrets." It was slightly surreal. Pokemon Sun and Moon probably agree with the in-joke because in the game, after the main campaign has been completed, players get a chance to encounter a complete recreation of Nugget Bridge, which is an odd way to celebrate the franchise's 20th anniversary, but hey. Time Travel Award. In Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, after having defeated the Elite Four, if you talk to one of the people at the in-game Game Freak offices, you can possibly get the Time Travel Award. To do this, you must import a Pokemon all the way from Generation 3, Ruby Sapphire or Fire Red and Leaf Green, and place it first in your party before you talk to the person handing out the award. And if you do so, you will be rewarded for your perseverance and loyalty. Dragon Ball Z reference. The over 9,000 moment from the Dragon Ball Z anime is well known to a lot of people by now. So much so that, along with so many other things these days, it has turned into a meme. Pokemon X and Y have a great Easter egg that references this meme. An NPC tells you that you and your Pokemon look very strong, and that their power levels are surely above 9,000. Funny and not entirely subtle. Ash and Pikachu in Sun and Moon. Pokemon Sun and Moon removed traditional gym battles for the Island Challenge, and arguably the best trial in the Island Challenge was the 6th one, which had players square off against the delightfully eerie ghost Pokemon Mimikyu. Mimikyu is obsessed with the Pokemon Pikachu, to the point that it will even dress up as one, and the battle against it takes place in a mysterious closet at the back of an abandoned supermarket, a closet plastered with pictures of Pikachu. Owing to the ambience of the trial, most players probably don't pay too much attention to these pictures, but if you did, you would notice that one of them has Ash Ketchum, the protagonist of the Pokemon anime, featured in it somewhat. A nice nod to the cartoon, that's for sure. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.